did live in Tassie though, and Hobart especially. Um, it wasn't particularly a hotbed of live music, never mind heavy metal.
Yeah.
So, how did you guys like? 'Cause you've been going for 20 years or so. How did you guys manage to be like, get the fuck out?
Well, I mean, the band sort of, because I wasn't, so the band's been going for 25 years. I've been with them for 20 years this year now. So the first 5 years, there was a lot of just local stuff, I think. I mean, I've been good mates with the band since before they started. So it was a lot of local stuff. And then I think like Dave, drummer, has just always been very ambitious, very driven, the sort of guy that, he in his mind he's like, well, fuck, I want to go touring, I want to do this, I want to do that. So I'm just going to figure out how the fuck I'm going to make it happen, basically. So he's very driven and very business savvy. So he's the sort of guy that'll just, he'll set his mind on crazy tasks and he'll just figure it out. So I think I attribute a lot of the band's success, like with touring and getting out of Tassie, to Dave and just his prowess, I guess you'd say.
Because there is, I mean, I know after this little jaunt you've got here, you're off to America. You're doing like 400 shows in 6 days or something stupid.
Yeah.
Uh, fuck, I counted how many days. I was like, it's 45 days. And then I was like,
Yeah.
how many? And I just stopped counting on the shows. I was like,
There's
I fucking
there's like
can't be
off
bothered.
there's off day shows on that tour as well. So I
Oh,
think there's
really?
like an extra, I think there might even be another 6 or 7 shows on top of what's listed there. So I'm not actually going on that tour because I got commitments with work and kids
Ah,
and family and all the real life stuff. So we've got Jace Kaiser from Origin. He's an American boy. He often does. I probably do. These days, I probably wouldn't even do half the international touring at the moment. But so yeah, he sort of when I'm not available with that, he sort of steps in. So this is one of the ones where he's going to go in my place. Because
I mean, a
looking
lot
at
of
that,
sorry.
because like yeah, that tour, it's basically 2 months away from home straight. So I run a small business and I got 2 kids and a wife and stuff, and it's kind of like, oh, some of them these days, like back when I was in my 20s and stuff, it was no drama to sort of be away for months and months at a time. But the kids are sort of, they're approaching adulthood, and it's kind of like, got to stick around and be the good dad while they're still at home.
Yeah.
And because before I know it, they'll be out, and I'll probably be going, fuck, let's get back on the road hard.
I mean, I get the impression a lot of things for touring bands as well. Because especially Australian touring bands to go overseas, it costs so fucking much. Um,
Mm,
and then COVID happened, which wiped everybody out for a couple of years. And
yeah,
all the bands have come back, and it's kind of like I'm not. It's kind of a difference to them. Like they're almost like hardened. And it's like, yeah, I'm not
yeah,
going to do that. I can't commit to doing that. But the band
yeah,
will still do stuff.
yeah,
Even some younger bands are doing that as well.
yeah. I definitely see it with a lot of the older bands like us. I mean, we're not old men by any means, but we're in our 40s now, and it's just kind of like you end up, when you're in your 20s and you're sort of in that early stage of your career and you're really pushing it, you don't have as much, I suppose, real life like commitments and stuff. I mean, nowadays, when you get in your 40s, you've got older kids, you've got mortgages, you've got businesses to run, or, pretty serious careers and stuff. Because I mean, death metal's never going to pay the bills. I mean, maybe if you get to, I don't know, Cannibal Corpse and beyond, but
Yeah.
at our level, we're happy if we can earn, enough to pay our bills and support the families while we're away. But the minute we set back on home soil, you might get a day off to get over jet lag, and then you're straight back to work, 6 days a week. So that's the thing. And I think like over the COVID period with, a lot of bands, I suppose we sort of just bridged into middle aged, and it's kind of like, well, if we want to keep doing this, forever, it's got to be sustainable. It's got to work for everybody. And if you don't want to burn members out, like why do it? And if you can get people that are happy to fill in for members and stuff to keep the engine rolling, why not? And I mean, and that's the way we've looked at it with Psycroptic. We're like, we don't want to do any more lineup changes. The lineup works well for writing, recording. We're best mates, we're like family. So it's kind of like like at the end of the day, I mean, Dave, our drummer, he didn't do an Australian tour at the start of the year because his son was born on the first day of the tour. So we had to fill in for that and, tied our bass players in America. So when we're in Australia, a lot of the time, like spot shows and stuff, we use the session guy out here. So we're kind of like, you know, all the session guys that we use as well, they're part of the extended family, really. Anyway, they're all good friends of ours. We get along great, and it's just like, let's do what we can to keep the engine rolling. All the actual members can step in and do what they want when they want, and it's awesome, and it really takes the pressure out of it all for us, so that it's you're doing this. You don't want it to be a stressful thing. It's something we do because we love it. We're not making big financial gains or anything. So we're kind of like, if
There's no
this makes,
Beyonce money in that cupboard behind you.
yeah, nah.
Taylor Swift in there, yeah.
I've got a pile of guitars next to me, but that's taken me 20 years to collect. But yeah, I
But,
mean, we're just
but
like whatever is needed for us to keep going. Inevitably, is what we'll do.
there seems to be when that we were mentioning the COVID thing, like the vibe that I got was pre-COVID, it was everyone's a gang and you're doing it. Post-COVID, because it was 2 years, 2.5 years, lots of bands are doing like what you said there, which is
Yeah,
almost becoming like a sports team. Okay, so here's the starting team we've got, which is the main guys.
yeah,
But then when we go over here, well, tactics suggest he's coming out for this one, and we'll get such and such
yeah,
in. And so many
yep,
bands are doing it. And because, as you said, they're session musicians or they're musicians who are playing in multiple bands, the quality is there anyway. So
yeah,
it almost
exactly.
becomes seamless.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like everybody says, I suppose I mean, the biggest difference is, I mean, me and Jace Kaiser, the guy that fills in for me, we have sort of fairly different styles, but I think, you know, no one's complained. No one said, "Oh, it's shit when Kaiser's doing it," or "Kaiser's better than Peppiatt," or whatever. Everyone's just like, "Yeah, it's what it is. Just how it is." Those songs are great. Lucky for us, Joe, our guitarist, who's kind of the mastermind of the music, he's always there. He's got no kids or anything like that, so he's kind of always keen to hit the road. And I think he is the one that if he couldn't go on a tour, it probably wouldn't work, because I just feel no one can actually quite play guitar like he can. He's very unique in the way he plays, and he is the sound of Psycroptic. So yeah, he's the unlucky one. He's the one that the pressure's on.
It's not like every game. Every game you're in, lad.
Every
Um,
game, yeah, he's a striker.
you've 'cause I'm in Adelaide, so I mean, you guys have been here a lot. I've seen you guys a
Mhm.
lot in the time that I've lived here. Because you've worked well with the organisers of Froth Fury before. Because you've done New Dead in the past and things like that.
Oh yeah, we've known Jace North from fuck, 20 years. I've known him since I joined Psycroptic 20 years ago. We've been doing shows with, New Dad. We've played shows with Truth Corroded so many times over the years. Great, great guy.
Well, they have. I mean, they have. I mean, Jason and his crew with the New Dead Festival when they do Heavy SA, they have this great reputation of how they get it all set up, and that's why bands keep coming back. I mean,
Mm.
is that been your experience? Like, have you had any issues where they've then fixed it?
No, I mean, I'm pretty sure we've done a lot of our touring through Soundworks and then direct touring and then Soundworks Direct when they merged the two agencies toured together. But I think they've always used Jace has always at least been the local rep. So I think pretty much majority of the time we've been to Adelaide, for 20 odd years, he's always he's always had a hand in it, which, and it's good. And it means when we go up there to play shows, we just know shit's taken care of, shit's sorted. So we're very lucky all over the country, really, that I suppose we've been going around for so many years now that, we've got so many good connections and so many good relationships with people that it's not a stress anymore. We don't have to think, fuck, do these people know what they're doing or whatever.
You
We
already
go
know.
up there and everything's sorted. And that's why when this offer came from Jace to do Froth and Fury, which we haven't done yet. Dave, our drummer, I think he played it last year, maybe with Werewolves or Bremlin or one of the gazillion other bands he plays in. And he said it was just an awesome festival. He said it's new dead, but like stepped up to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
So
It's much
I'm
bigger, much bigger.
yeah, that's what he was saying. So I'm really looking forward to getting on it.
Excellent.
And it'll actually
I
be
mean,
nice to get on something like this because often when we do these day festivals and stuff in Australia, we end up headlining them. So
mm,
it's nice that we'll actually be on a bit earlier on this one because there's a lot of bands that are bigger than us, so we can actually get our show played, enjoy it earlier in the day, and have enough time to still hang out and enjoy the show, catch up with friends, watch other bands and stuff. So that's something I'm really looking forward to with it as well.
that's a good point you make. I remember Ozzy Osbourne years ago. It was he did a co-headline show at Donington with Kiss back in '96. And there was like, oh, who's going to headline? Who's going to headline?
Hmm.
And I remember he made the comment. He goes, "Oh no, Kiss can headline." He goes, "I'm happy to go on second. Kiss can go on top."
Hmm.
And then someone went, "Oh, you're really, magnanimous about that. Why did you do that?" And he goes, "Because by the time they get to me, everyone's already fucked, and then they're not even going to take any
Yeah.
interest in Kiss." And you're like, "Yeah, fair
Yeah.
point." So,
Yeah. It
you're
happens with a lot of those festivals as well. Like often you think, oh geez, like we played a festival in Perth or Fremantle, WA, only weekend just gone. And we were headlining that. And I think the festival started at like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and then we weren't on till 11 at night. And when we played, you could see that everybody in the audience was into it and they were having a great time, but you could see they were just fucking exhausted as well. And you think it's a long day for people with these shows. Like it's a long day when you're one of the bands that are playing it, and that's when you've got a green room and an area you can go and chill out. You could take a nap if you need to. And you're still wrecked by the end of it. So I think as a punter, and they're usually on the piss all day as well. You think, fucking hell.
yeah, absolutely spot on because I will be on the piss. Um, for people who haven't seen Psycroptic before, how would you describe your band and your show?
Uh, Show's energetic, very much so. Even though we're older, middle-aged gentlemen now, we all like to keep fit and all the rest. So we try to keep it fit and keep the high energy shows up. We're playing. We'll probably play majority of our set. I think will be off the most recent three albums. So yeah, so we try to pick sort of live. I mean, there's a few fast ones in there, but we really try to look at the more groove, headbang, mosh pit sort of tempo songs for the live set these days. So yeah, a lot of that. But yeah, in saying that, there is still a few hyperspeed songs in there.
To keep everybody awake. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
But it's usually in the middle of the set if they're starting to wear out. It's just that. All right, come on, let's go.
That's nice because a lot of bands do the other way around. They bring it down in the middle, and you're like, no, fucking dial it up.
Nah,
Get 'em.
turn it up. You just can't fucking rest now. If I'm not resting, neither are you.
Talking about albums and that, and you were mentioning earlier about some stuff. I did see on Instagram a few days ago that there was some bass tracking going on. So I'm imagining then that there is new music in the work.
Yeah, yeah, a new album in the go. I think drums are fairly close to complete. Bass, yeah, that's a fair way in. Well, as much as what was written when Todd, our bass player, was in Australia a few months ago. I'm about halfway through with the vocals, and I think Joe's probably three-quarters of the way through with guitar. So we're all sort of at different points with it. So there is a lot of, working in different studios and stuff like that. So. Yeah, so we're hoping to have it finished by the end of the year. All goes to plan, and then who knows when it'll get released. That's been a big thing over the last few years since COVID. All the pressing plants are so fucking choked up, and all the rest. So, some of the album, like Divine Council, our last album, we submitted it to the label, and then they put it in a queue with a record pressing plant, and I think it was about a whole year we had to wait for it. Yeah. And then after
Just
that, I
sitting there
released.
dying.
Yeah, well, I had side project that me and Joe, our guitarist, have got, Domination Campaign. First out, we did an album just as COVID was starting. We were finishing it. We had to wait a year on that as well. But then in that year, while we were waiting on that to be released, we wrote and recorded a whole nother album, which we had to wait 2.5 years till it was released. Because by the time we sort of got that submitted, everybody was submitting all their albums they'd done during COVID and their side projects. And it was just like, by the time that album came out, it was just like, I was doing interviews for it. I'm like, I can't even remember the fucking album. It was that long ago that I wrote it. But yeah. So I'm hoping
Yes.
this one that, like I'm hoping it's getting to the point now where we can submit albums and it can be maybe a 6-month wait, something back
Mm.
back to a bit more, regularity so that when an album comes out, we're still excited about it. Because that's the hardest thing because, you spend a couple years with an album while you're writing and recording it and stuff, and then you have to wait another year till it's released. And you think, fuck, it's just you're not excited on it anymore. You're like, next, come on.
Kind of a dead year as well, isn't it? So
Yeah,
it's
it is.
that
It
that
is.
music just can't get out there and breathe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking of new music, going a little bit off tangent from your band, you guys have toured quite a bit with Black Dahlia Murder over
Yeah.
the decades.
Yeah, definitely.
Their new album came out a little bit different for many
Yeah.
reasons. What were your thoughts on your mate's new style or new
Well,
sound?
to be honest, I haven't actually checked it out yet. I heard one of the tracks off it, but it is something that I have been meaning to get to. But I've been so wrapped up with, writing my own stuff lately that I haven't really been sort of checking out a lot of new stuff at the moment. But it is one that I'm keen to see how it goes. And they're a band that I really hope that at some point over the next couple of years we get the opportunity to play with them, even play the same festival as them. So I haven't seen those guys in quite a few years. Yeah, so obviously after everything that happened with Trevor, it'd be nice to catch up with those guys and see how they're all hanging in.
Yeah, reconnect with them.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean they were a band that very much in our first probably 10, well, the first 10 years of me being in the band, they really sort of took us under the wing and they took us out in the US, took us out in Europe. We did like 2, 3 Australian tours with them. So yeah. So it'd be really good to catch up with those guys again.
it's nice, nice. Well, that's me. Pretty much done. Have you got anything else you'd like to add? Anything that for the people in Adelaide waiting to see you?
Make sure you don't get too pissed before we go on.
Sunburn, yeah,
I think it's
sunstroke.
me. Yeah, I can't remember if we came to Adelaide. We did an Australian tour at the start of the year. I don't actually think we came to Adelaide on it, the one we did with Obituary. I got a feeling we didn't. We may
Victoria
have.
came here.
Yeah,
I'd have to
Obituary would have. I don't know. I've got a feeling that Joe
hang
was
on.
going on holiday So because I was trying to think the other day, I think we haven't been over there for like a year or more.
I'm just
I got
having
a
a quick look
feeling,
to see if it's here. No, he didn't come here. No.
yeah, I got a feeling we had to drop off the tour the day before because Joe was already booked on it going on holiday overseas with his wife before the tour got penciled in. So we're like, oh, we could do most of it.
Well, again, that comes back round to the beginning, isn't it? Which of,
It
hey,
is,
look, we've
yeah.
all got commitments now, so fuck,
Yeah,
yeah. I want to go
yeah.
to Fiji instead.
Yeah, it wasn't like that back in the early days. It was like, cancel your life. We are going to Europe for fucking 2 months. And if you've got plans, suck a dick because you're
You
not doing
sleep?
it
Did you
in.
all sleep in like the same van together as well? Was that the sort of European adventure at the beginning?
Europe was always quite comfortable. We always did it on tour packages with the nightliners, like the big
Okay.
double-decker buses. American tours, Asian tours, and stuff like that. That was all in the back of a van. Like we
Yeah.
used to slog out 6, 7 weeks in the van, sleeping on bench seats, sitting up in the front seat and all that shit. Yeah.
That's fucking awful.
Uh, I don't know. There's a certain charm to it. It's like a fucking big long camping trip with your mates, in another country, but you get to play shows every day.
Yeah. Like, it's that thing now. It's like you were saying earlier about being, because I'm the same as you, I'm in my 40s. Like when I travel now, I'm always going to a decent hotel. There's got to be a comfy
Yeah.
bed. There's got to be a warm fucking shower. But 20 years ago, I'd be in a youth hostel with like
Yeah, you didn't
16
give
other
a
people.
fuck.
You
Yeah,
know, you just didn't care.
exactly. And that's the same thing with us. Now we're kind of like, we'll spend the money and we'll get a motorhome to tour the US in, rather than the van. It's like we'll take the pay cut. It's fine. We'll get a good bed. We'll have a fridge and we can